Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. This is what will most likely be the final episode of NoDQ&A video until WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 31 or WrestleMania Play Button, whatever you want to call it, is this coming Sunday live on the WWE Network, and I will be there in San Jose and Santa Clara to cover the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, and Raw. So wish me luck on that. Got your questions here from spring.me/AaronRift. First one today comes from Romney Full Dark. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on this week's Raw? I gotta say, of all the episodes of Raw post Fastlane, this has been the worst. P.S. Please keep Noah away from the channel. Well, I'll try my best with Noah, but he was really insistent on getting his voice out there and speaking his mind about Kevin Nash. People love Noah Donish. A few people out there love him, but regardless, people are talking about him. Noah Donish is like NoDQ.com's version of Roman Reigns. Anyways, before too many people get pissed off, let's get to the question here. If you read my comments on Facebook and Twitter, you know what I thought about Raw this week. Here's the thing. If this was the go-home edition of Raw for Battleground or Fastlane or Hell in a Cell even, it would have been a very solid edition of Raw. But this was the go-home edition of Raw for WrestleMania, WWE's biggest show of the year. I guess I was just expecting more. The build that they did was fine, but to me it was just very standard. It was nothing out of the ordinary. And I was really hoping WWE would scream to my face that this is WrestleMania 31. This is the biggest show of the year. It is, if anything, a must-see show. The one show you need to watch. And I really didn't feel that way when this Raw was over. You had Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. You had Randy Orton beating up J&J Security, and Seth Rollins just slips away. It's your typical build. Sting came out. He cut a promo. I liked the promo, but it was very short, and he just basically said that Triple H is a jerk, and he wants to end Triple H, but I would have wanted to have Sting come out there and explain why Triple H is such a bad person and why he wants to take out Triple H, and maybe a little bit more depth. I wasn't a huge fan of the Sting Triple H segment, but it was fine, you know. Very, very typical, though. Triple H comes out with the sledgehammer, Sting counters with a bat, Triple H slips away. And got this question here from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Oh, and real quick, you know, John Cena too. The typical build where Rusev beats down John Cena and takes him out. And, you know, I already did the prediction video for WrestleMania, and I figured my opinions would probably not change all that much. If anything, after this week's Raw, seeing John Cena get beat down by Rusev. Before, when I did the predictions video, I was maybe 95% sure Cena was winning. Now I'm 99.9% positive. In fact, I even made a little bet on Twitter and Facebook. If John Cena wins, or excuse me, if John Cena gets pinned or is made to submit, I will pour a bucket full of ice water down my pants on video. I will do that if John Cena loses by pinfall or submission at WrestleMania. Anyways, moving on here to Kayfabe Candy Ass's question. 3 weeks ago, I asked about concern regarding the shitty-ass build to WrestleMania. So, better or worse since then? I feel like I'm paying money to watch a effing game of tug and war or hide and seek. Come on. Anyways, have fun at the show. Your thoughts. Well, you have tug of war between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar as your final moment before WrestleMania. I thought it was lame. I actually thought it was kind of cool that Roman Reigns grabbed the belt from him, but then with Brock Lesnar trying to grab it back and then them playing the tug of war game, I thought it was really lame. And when you look at last year's go-home show and the big angle they did with Daniel Bryan and Triple H, that had so much more intensity, so much more heat, such a better way to lead fans into WrestleMania. I felt that this was really weak, and it's not going to do either guy any favors, in my opinion. I mean, this whole build to WrestleMania, people are going to remember it for tug of war and hot potato with the IC title. WWE, from a creative standpoint, they really did drop the ball with this WrestleMania build, in my opinion. But I think a lot of people out there agree with me. Not one of the better years for WrestleMania build. And usually the period between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania is when WWE is at its highest point creatively. And if this is the best that they got, it's going to be a long 2015. I'm just very concerned about that. Anyways, moving on here. Got this question from Sepix. After that tug-of-war face-off, is there any hope for Lesnar versus Reigns at this point? Reigns got nuked with boos and Lesnar got cheered. I almost felt like they cut Raw off on purpose because of the boos. Again, is there hope? Well, when they came up with that tug-of-war idea, probably they thought it was a good idea on paper. It just didn't play out well on television. And as far as WrestleMania goes, if there's any hope, at this point, there is none. It is what it is. I think you're going to have a lot of people booing Roman Reigns. And depending on how the crowd feels throughout the entire show, they could end up being dead for that match and just not reacting to either guy much at all. If WWE goes with their plan of Roman Reigns as the top babyface, he wins the title cleanly, it's going to be a disaster for him at Raw. He is going to get John Cena level boos from One Night Stand. I mean, that's how bad it's going to be for Roman Reigns, unless WWE has some really good creative idea for Roman Reigns. And based on what they've done over the past several months, I don't think WWE has any good ideas. I think that Roman Reigns is probably going to beat Brock Lesnar clean, and he's going to be the new face of the company, and people are going to boo it, and at house shows, you're going to have the kids and the women that cheer it, and it's just going to be the same cycle. Roman Reigns, John Cena 2.0, whatever. All right, this one comes from Kyle Mitchell 84. Hey Aaron, do you think that WWE killed any potential momentum they had with the Axelmania gimmick with the interaction between Axel and Hogan on Raw? Please answer in video. Well, the thing that interests me is how people think that this Axelmania gimmick is somehow supposed to lead to something bigger. I mean, it's just a spoof of Hulk Hogan, and it has given Curtis Axel something to do, but I don't think it's ever going to amount to anything. And I think it was inevitable that you would have the real Hulk Hogan come out and confront him. The thing that I found funny about this segment was Hulk Hogan making the weed joke, and Snoop Dogg out there with his minus 24-inch pythons. But, I mean, I wasn't really expecting Curtis Axel to amount to anything with this Axelmania gimmick. So to say that WWE killed momentum, I mean, I think that's a ridiculous claim. I think that Axelmania is only going to amount to so much. It's a parody. It's not like he was Damian Sandow with Money in the Bank. I mean, that was killing somebody that had momentum. This is an entirely different thing, in my opinion. All right, moving on here. Got this question from Songwriter John. Hey, Aaron, now that my favorite wrestler Kevin Nash is in the Hall of Fame, why the hell is WWE just calling him Diesel and Scott Hall Razor Ramon and not by real names after their huge runs in both WWF and WCW? Please answer in video. Well, as it turns out, Kevin Nash is going into the Hall of Fame as Kevin Nash and not Diesel, despite all the speculation. I think WWE's intention was for Scott Hall to go in as Razor Ramon, and then the next year, Kevin Nash goes in as Diesel. And then the year after that, WrestleMania 32, you have Hall and Nash go into the Hall of Fame as themselves as part of the NWO faction. I think that was the idea that WWE had, but Kevin Nash apparently is not into the idea of going in as Diesel. He wants to go in as himself, and I don't blame him for that. I mean, Kevin Nash had a tremendous career in WCW. Arguably, he had a better run in WCW than he did in WWE as Diesel. He came in the NWO for a period, was the hottest act in wrestling, and it was a real difference maker in the wrestling business. It was a real money maker, that NWO gimmick. You could say that Diesel as WWE champion was a flop. A lot of people say that. There's the talk that he was the worst drawing champion in history. Definitely he was champion during one of WWE's lowest periods of popularity. And when he went to WCW, he changed the business. So if I was Kevin Nash, I would definitely want to go in just under my own name and acknowledge both the WWE and WCW runs for Kevin Nash. And of course, next year you have the NWO going. With Scott Hall, you could make more of an argument for him going in as Razor Ramon because, first of all, he had a longer run in WWE's Razor Ramon than Kevin Nash had as Diesel. And Scott Hall did have a tremendous run in WCW, but wasn't quite as significant as Nash. Nash was the world champion. He was the guy that ended Goldberg's streak. He was the guy that continued to be on top in WCW until the final days of the company. You know, with Scott Hall, he had a lot of personal issues in WCW. So one could make an argument, you know, let's put in Scott Hall as Razor Ramon and put in Kevin Nash as himself. All right, got this one from Awesomes W69514. Greetings, Aaron. What did you think of Bray Wyatt's promo on the Raw Go Home show for WrestleMania 31? I thought it was the best promo of the year. I'm also more excited for his match against The Undertaker more than ever because of Bray Wyatt's promo. Well, I know some people out there are not going to agree with this, but I felt it was okay, I guess. To me, it was more the same. It was your typical Bray Wyatt promo. He's cut the same kind of promo for 3 or 4 weeks. And yes, Paul Heyman's done the same thing. And to be fair, I didn't think that Paul Heyman's promo this week was, knocked out of the park or anything. To me, it was just more the same. And that's how I felt about Bray Wyatt's promo. I mean, his delivery is tremendous, but it's just the same thing, and there's no real storyline. It's just Bray Wyatt's calling out The Undertaker. That's all it is. He comes out and just rips into The Undertaker week after week after week. But, you know, I really felt that it was best to not have Undertaker appear. You know, I made an argument for this weeks ago that I felt it was best to keep Undertaker off television until WrestleMania and let people wonder what he's going to be like. What's he going to look like? What's he going to be able to do when he gets in the ring, and keep that mystery about him. So, you know, I felt that that was the best way to go. And as a result, you know, Bray Wyatt has to come out and basically cut the same promo every week. All right, last question here from Carbold Tunnel. Hey, Aaron, what were your thoughts on the death of Perro Aguayo Jr.? There's reports that Rey Mysterio 619 caused it, but I saw the video showing Rey Mysterio, and he didn't even connect with the 619. It's still sad to hear him dying in the ring. Well, yeah, it's just a terrible, tragic accident. That's all it was a freak accident, in my opinion. When you look at the video, we might never know what actually caused him to die, but certainly I don't think Rey Mysterio did anything wrong, you know, out of the ordinary. It was just a freak accident. Things can happen. And, you know, some people out there say, well, what should be done? Is there something that can be done to make it safer for the wrestlers? And I would say the answer is no. I think that, you know, every now and then there's going to be a freak accident. Every time you step in the ring, you are putting your body on the line. That is just the reality. And there's no way to be 100% safe 100% of the time. So to me, it's just a terrible tragedy. And, you know, I didn't want to post the video on NoDQ and post it on the social media, but I felt that people needed to see the video so it's clear that it was, in fact, an accident. And, you know, I was really disturbed by the headlines I saw, like people saying Rey Mysterio kills wrestler. I mean, come on now. You know, that's ridiculous. And you cannot fault Rey Mysterio for this, or anybody else in the match for that matter. Just a terrible, terrible accident. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. I'll get the plugs out real quick. NoDQ.com, WrestleMania 31 coverage. I will be there. Twitter.com/NoDQ.DOTCOM. Follow that account for the latest breaking news and, of course, my live coverage updates. And if you want to discuss WrestleMania 31, go to NoDQForums.com. And make sure you check out the other videos. Check out the predictions video with Jeff Meacham. Like I said earlier, my predictions are exactly the same as they were in that video. Raw this week really did nothing to change my predictions for WrestleMania. So check out that video. Check out the other videos. Watch Noah's video if you dare. And please don't unsubscribe because of Noah. Who knows? Maybe Noah will actually get people to like him one of these days. With that being said, I will see you guys this coming weekend. I'll have my videos. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. Spread the word about NoDQ&A video, and I'll see you guys next time.